Yo, what's going on? It's your boy Montego Ramon back with another video, man, with the Risers X channel. Yeah, man, we back again with another video. It's Sunday, market open in the Asian session. Yeah, so today, man, I just kind of want to touch on we're gonna start with a little breakdown, and then we'll go. I got a few things we're gonna touch on. I'm gonna update y'all with just where we at with the plan, and kind of what our expectations for this week. And yeah, let's hop right into the chart. So we are on NQ right now. Y'all can see my chart kind of crazy because we've been marking up consistently. So we on a 1 hour time frame. So look, I'm gonna clear this chart real quick. I think he's there. Nah, it's good. We got a guest in the car right now. So we're doing some extra learning. All right, cool. So we about to clear this chart real quick. All right, so we got a naked chart. The other, basically the yellowish green and green lines are for the London session, New York AM session, and then New York PM session. So I usually just keep those marked for understanding, just getting a better understanding of the time frames, because sometimes it can be a little confusing just tracking time down here. So that gives me a good indicator of where all the sessions are at and how prices are moving during the session. So so let's go to the higher time frame. I'm gonna start from the weekly time frame. So if we look just at last week's candle from June 29th, we had a short week last week. We closed bullish, but it's not a complete bullish sign. We're basically in this little consolidation area, which I didn't even really recognize. You see, we've been basically just fluctuating between this range here. We've been fluctuating between this range, not really making new highs, not really making lower lows. We're just kind of consolidating in this area. So my question is, we're in July. July is typically a month where they say we usually get back about 1%. And we can Google that too to verify. We usually get back about 1%. That means we might go a little higher before we start to sell off, and then come back into. I think we're gonna come back down into these areas right here. Look, watch this. Because typically in the months of end of July, going into August, September, and about, I want to say, mid to the end of October, we're usually selling off, usually getting a nice healthy pullback before we go into the end of the year run, and then going into the holidays in December, that thing running. We running into new highs. We running in January. We still might get a little run, because basically last year, gold went crazy. NQ, ES, they went crazy. We was just buying up, going long. A lot of people made a lot of money. And don't even take my word for it. You can go back and check. Go back and check yourself. Matter of fact, we can look at it right here. Look, we've been running since March. We've been running since March. Look, so this was a low. This was the low in March. We had that sell-off March, and then end of March. This is literally the end of March when this closed. March 30th, I think. This one opens up April 6th, and you see we ran from March 30 until basically we reached a high somewhere in here in the beginning of June. Had a nice little pullback, then came right back up to those highs again, going into the final week of June. And then look like we're about to, man, I don't know. I'm curious to see how this is gonna go. We really closed this little candle right here. I think is it might be a hammer or a morning star. It's not really a morning or a evening star, because it's not below these lows right here. This low. Matter of fact, let me mark out this area. I'll draw this on here. Matter of fact. So as y'all can see, this area, if we just point out this area where this little line is, prices hasn't really been breaking down there. You see a wick come down, but you mostly see the body closures above this. The body closures, I think, are more important than the wicks. The wicks just kind of tell you price came down there, probably was engineering some liquidity, taking sweeps, taking out stop losses just to fill some orders, just to go back in the opposite direction. So here, I think this is huge because we had a clear stop, no wicks below this candle, and then now price, you see it opened up, look, almost even gapped up in a way, but it closed that gap. And I think this is probably going to close bullish, and we might actually go to new highs before we touch down on this into one of these fair value gaps below here, like I said, coming into the next few months. Because remember, we are on the weekly time frame, so each one of these candles is a week long. So you would look over here, it's a 4 days and 17 hours till this candle closes. And so once we dive down into these lower time frames, we're gonna see, man, we're gonna try to verify that, make sure all the time frames align with that same bias. Like, my bias is absolutely bullish for this month, but I'm not married to my bias. Look like we're actually getting like this symmetrical triangle right here. If we draw like a little trend line from these lows, connecting these lows, and then connecting these highs. These highs, roughly kind of get a little symmetrical triangle. So that means price could go either way. You see, we're making higher lows, right? Because this low, you have this low, then you have this is a higher low, and this is even making a higher low. And then here you see we're making, this is a lower high and then another lower high, because they're obviously lower. Each preceding high is lower than the last one, or lower than the previous. And so that means that we're absolutely consolidating, and then we're about to have a breakout. Either we're going to break out to the downside or upside. July is typically a good month. We've been on a good run, so I'm thinking we're going to go up. But obviously, the candles need to support that. The technical analysis needs to support that before we just run with that. But we're absolutely going to get some pullbacks into these areas. It'll be nice if we do, though. We need that. And that's just going to open up some opportunities to enter and get in the market. So we're in a 4 hour right now. 4 hours still basically showing the same thing. I think we got more of an even high right here, where price isn't really, like I said, it's not really, it's just ranging, it's just consolidating. So you can see we're kind of getting this pullback right here, which look like we might actually buy up, because I think on the open we sold off right into this fair value gap right here. Look, check this fair value gap out. We sold off right into this fair value gap. Boom, we're rejecting out of that right now. This candle closes in the next hour and 20 minutes. And then I just want to see, because potentially what could happen is this thing closes, leaves a fair value gap here, and then we come down, fill this fair value gap before we go up. If we even decide to continue to go up, we're gonna see though. We're gonna see. And I'm curious to see kind of what's in the news. I want to see if there are any cool headlines popping up over here. SpaceX is joining the Nasdaq July 7th. That's gonna be pretty cool. That's gonna be pretty cool. And then we gonna get into the news and see what news might be coming up this month that could potentially cause some crazy price action this week. Let me see. Yeah, so we got, like, I would absolutely look for a sell here. I would absolutely look for a sell, because we got a fair value gap after you just had this nice move down, which is really just a kind of like a pullback. Which is really just kind of like a pullback. Then you got this one here. You got this fair value gap right here, which is prices actually making its way up into here. We're on a 1 hour time frame. So I would look for a sell on a move like this. Actually, I want to just see tonight if this plays out. It's a Monday too, so like I feel like I don't be having no. Sometimes I might catch a good move on a Monday, but like I don't even be trying to mess around on a Monday. I like to get the market some time to really show me like just some it's settled and making some clear price action. So I know Bree over here like, boy, what the fuck is this man talking about? Yeah. All right. So I would actually look for that. I want to see how that plays out, how this opportunity plays out. Like, as soon as price fills this gap, matter of fact, I'll place one contract right there. I'll place one contract. Yeah, right up in here. I'll do one sell. I just want to see. It's just be a paper trade. Risk 12 something, 35. What my P&L at? Oh, we up like 24K. Okay, cool. So we cool with risking that. It'll be a light position. And then that's the thing too. It's like, in the beginning of the market, I want to build a habit of like just taking a light position, especially if I'm not feeling super comfortable, because price could absolutely invert this fair value gap and continue up. I don't really see much. There's nothing immediate that I feel like price might draw to other than liquidity that's above these levels. But below these levels, we absolutely have this small, like, clear imbalance in the market that price would probably draw to and fill. But it's not to say it's going to happen right away. And we don't have anything immediately below that or anything heavy. Well, we got this one. I think this was a, matter of fact, let me label this. This was a, oh look, my trade was just activated. So this was a weekly fair value gap right here. Weekly fair value gap. So y'all already know, I've told y'all before, for the any new people watching, higher time frames are always going to take priority over lower time frames. And so you want to be going with any lower time frame trades we take, we want to be aligned with the higher time frame movement. So we're not taking a counter trend trade, because a lot of times what I've seen is like, yeah, you might win some counter trend trades, but they're not as high probability as moving with the higher time frame. It's like, yo, you don't want to surf against the wave, you want to go with it. You know what I mean? You gonna get your ass wiped out. Your reaction said it all. I don't even know what happened. I just seen you tell you, man. Yeah. Alright. Nah, it's like that though. I done take so many L's doing that. Shit. Alright, so that trade was activated. And we already going a little bit into profit. It was like minimal drawdown there, but we'll see how it plays out, because we still got a little room on to fully mitigate that fair value gap. And then let's look at the lower time frame. Come on, let's hit that. Go down to the 30 minute. So on the 30 minute, we basically clear, and it looks like we got almost a change state of delivery, but we actually have a fair value gap down here. We got a couple of them. I don't think none of these are super important, but we might be clear on the sell. And I'm gonna tell y'all why. We have a downtrend, a clear downtrend right here, right? We have a clear downtrend right here. If we just connect those highs, and then if we look, this is basically just a pullback after this big sell-off right here, right? So we had this downtrend movement going on, right? We had this little internal sweep of liquidity before we sold off, right? And then we pulled back into this area with some highs, with some higher highs, higher lows, right? It's kind of getting some parabolic movement in here. We dipped right into here, got a reaction, sold off. Boom, that looks like a clear shift of structure going with the trend, and then boom, we sell off. We sell off. My reaching here to bounce off this level of support, now turn resistance, and then we sell off, right? So ideally that's the move, but we'll see how that goes. Because last week we seen like, so last week there was a trade I took, which I need to figure out how to like, I wanna throw the recap videos back in here. So we did a recap on that live trade session we did Thursday, and we had the right idea, it came right down to our area of interest, price shot up, but then right after that, I didn't go far enough to think about, like, I just assumed it'll probably continue going and either take out that sell side liquidity, or at least the fair value gap. And then it came to a level and then just turned around and sold off so hard last week. And I think that was this move that Thursday. Yeah, exactly. I didn't even look at the market Friday. I didn't care. I did not look at the market Friday. Because I knew it was it was basically 4th of July was starting, and they said it was a bank holiday, so I was wondering if it was going to be closed, but nah, market was open, and we got some slow movement, I would say. All right, cool. What's on that? What else we getting into? All right, let's go look at. Let me get down to the 15-minute, because another big thing is, as a part of our confluences, is like making sure that if I can take a trade on the higher time frame, like the 1 hour, the 30-minute, as low as a 15, which is 15, I always consider a lower time frame. I'm gonna try to take it from the lower time frame movement. I mean the higher time frame. If I get down to the lower and I see the opportunities that continue to support that, I just want to make sure that all the time frames are aligned, because if you have multiple time frames aligned, then that's a higher probability of you winning that trade or getting to your next area for you to take profit. All right. Okay, cool. So like I said, this could probably go either way. I'm cool with losing this trade. If I do lose this trade, I'm sure we're in profit right now, but I wonder if we're gonna get a strong move down. You can see earlier we had this fair value gap fill, and then we sold off, right? And now I want to see, like, if we come back into this area, you can see prices are already rejecting off that same area where it sold from, and then selling off. Okay, cool. All right, let's move forward. I really don't need to see anything lower than this, but I just want to take a quick peek. Cool. I just want to take a quick peek. And we getting a nice sell-off. This fair value gap was filled right here on the 2-minute. I'm gonna mark this out real quick. I think this is cool. We getting a nice reaction out of there. And we got some nice counter closures. I think selling off. But then look at that. We got some strong volume. Rejecting. We'll see. We'll see how that closes in the next couple of minutes. All right, cool. Let's keep moving forward. All right, look. So we're gonna get into the. Where's my search bar? We're gonna get into the. Let's go to Safari. We'll go to Safari real quick. We're gonna check the news, see if anything cool coming up this week. I think the last time I was on here, my freaking Forex Factory was not loading. So we good today. It came right up. So Monday we got, what news we got? Final services PMI. That is not important. It's a yellow folder, so it's not important. This one, ISM services PMI is red, so let's watch for that. The previous was 54.5. Forecast is 54.2. So they expecting it to go down. They say actual greater than forecast is good for the currency. So if we can see the actual forecast come out better than the forecast, then maybe we'll get some good longs coming up. Price might not immediately move up. We might get like a pullback before we do it, before it hikes up, or before it goes long. But we'll just keep an eye out for it and make sure we're aware of it. It says market navigator, Fed hike bets ease as Dow hits records. Fed hike bets ease. So people have been expecting the Fed rates to increase. So that's going to tighten the money supply, and then we might could expect could expect the market to sell off and pull back in a case like that. But now people are not expecting the rate to increase, right? The interest rates. So yeah, so that's gonna be interesting. That's Monday. That's coming up Monday. That's at 9 a.m. too. That's 9 a.m. Eastern time. So right before the market opens. So that's gonna be interesting to see. We got FOMC member Waller speaking. What is he talking about? Federal Reserve Governor Christopher Waller. More hawkish than expected is good for currency. Hawkish is basically meaning they say hawkish or dovish, right? Hawkish, I think hawkish means basically that they're hopeful that the market is going to continue to expand. When they tighten the money supply, interest rates go up, money becomes more expensive, companies don't spend as much, people don't spend as much money, they basically take money out the money supply, so it slows the economy down. And they do this all just to keep everything balanced, right? So let's see how that goes. Why traders? It says why traders care. Federal Reserve FOMC members vote on where to set the nation's key interest rates, and their public engagements are often used to drop subtle clues regarding future monetary policy. Yeah. So I actually learned about this on what's it called? What's that damn website called? Baby Pips. If y'all ever get to go through Baby Pips, they have a very extensive course on trading. It's mostly on Forex trading, but a lot of the concepts you can still apply to like trading futures or even stocks. Let's see, Tuesday, we got we do got news Tuesday. Nothing important it looks like so far. Trade balance, ADP, weekly employment change, nothing. We got FOMC meeting minutes, whatever that's about. 10-year bond auction. This is all Wednesday. Crude oil inventories, final wholesale. What else we got? Consumer credit. Thursday, we got some home sales, unemployment claims. It's gonna be interesting to see how that affects the market. New Zealand got a bank holiday. I ain't gonna lie, sometimes I see these red markets and I kind of want to go check out these other countries and see what they got going on. So Friday is going to be clear. We got nothing going on Friday for real. Really, this week is just all about Fed talks of these interest rates. July 7th is going to be Tuesday. That's when SpaceX joined the market. So my big question is, I wonder if we're going to see, what's it called? Are we going to see the indices rebalance soon? I need to check that out. I need to find that out if we see the indices rebalance soon. Because when they do that, typically it's some selling off, some readjusting going on. Companies are being taken out of their companies that are actually in their that they're invested in, and then some new ones are being added. So like you see, SpaceX is being added, so somebody's probably going to get removed. And in that case, you might see like a potential sell-off as they remove their investments inside that company, and then they move it into another one, right? Yeah, so that'll be interesting. All right, cool, man. That's it for that. That's the news. We just went through the market. That was the news. So plans going forward. This week we are just paper trading. Next week we'll come back with a live account, and I'll really be a little more strict on, you know, whether I was just watching my performance this week and my schedule and just how I'm feeling, my emotions and everything on mine, to see if we're actually ready to trade. And if we feel not so confident in the live account, like I'm feeling like I want to chase the money versus just taking my trades, we really need to focus on just keeping positions small and executing the strategy. And I think that's really just where we need to be at mentally, and not really worry about too much. Which in this case, the job is going to help out with a lot, because a lot of times when you are in that space of, oh, I need to make money now you're chasing the money. You're chasing the money instead of trying to execute the strategy, because it's really all about just executing the process and not really thinking about the money, documenting the data, and then just improving on the data and executing the strategy. You know what I mean? And then the money just follows. So that's really what we want to be at. That's ideally. And so we're just going to keep that in mind as we go throughout this week. So that's pretty much it, man. That's all I got for y'all tonight. Going forward too soon, we'll be probably by August, we'll be making a deposit into the portfolio as we start building the portfolio again. So soon I'll be starting to share the options trades and then whatever stocks I'm buying into and watching out for it too. Cause I'm in, I'll be in like there's a trade group, not just a trade group, just a pay group I'll be in for sure. And then there's one more I may look into. I'm at least watching that guy's video, so we'll see. And as y'all can see right now, this price is hit up into this fair value gap for sure. And then we'll see if it starts to reverse, because like I said, we want to go with the higher time frame. You can see on the RSI we're oversold. And then I would want to check ES to see if ES might be creating a SMT or something. They're moving pretty identical right now. Both of them got fair value, these imbalances that they're running to. Right here. So we'll see how it goes. All right, cool, man. It's your boy Montego Ramon with the Risers X channel. Happy trading, man. Y'all make sure y'all are on top of your psychology, staying healthy, getting in that gym. I'll see y'all in the next one.